Chapter 3. The Teenage Brain, Why They Act the Way They Do. If you've ever wondered why your teenager can be brilliant one moment and impulsive the next, or compassionate at times, and then mysteriously insensitive hours later, you're not imagining things. Teenagers behave the way they do for a reason, and that reason begins inside the rapidly changing teenage brain. Adolescence is one of the most intense periods of brain growth, second only to early childhood. While your teen may look physically mature, their brain is still under construction. Connections are being pruned, strengthened, reorganized, and rebuilt. Think of it like a home renovation. Everything is technically still functional, but things can get messy, unpredictable, or temporarily out of order while improvements are being made. One of the most important areas still developing is the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning, impulse control, long-term thinking, and emotional regulation. This region matures slowly and doesn't reach full development until the mid-20s. Meanwhile, the amygdala, the emotional center of the brain, is highly active and fully operational. This imbalance creates the perfect recipe for emotional intensity, abrupt mood shifts, and dramatic reactions, often catching parents off guard. Teens aren't trying to be difficult when they react strongly or make sudden decisions. They're navigating a brain that is literally wired to feel more than it can logically process. Even something that seems small to a parent, like a disagreement with a friend or a disappointing grade, can feel overwhelming to a teen, because their brain experiences the emotional impact first and the reasoning part kicks in later. As a parent, understanding these neurological changes can help you shift from frustration to empathy. It becomes easier to see your teen not as out of control, but as someone learning to balance powerful feelings with still developing self-regulation skills. They aren't failing at being mature, they're practicing. This chapter will help you see that many behaviors that feel personal truly aren't. When your teen rolls their eyes, snaps under pressure, procrastinates, or makes a questionable choice, it's not a sign that you've done something wrong. It's a sign that their brain is learning how to handle complexities. Your compassion, patience, and steady presence become the emotional scaffolding that supports their growth. The more you understand their inner world, the better equipped you are to guide them through it. And as overwhelming as adolescence can be for both you and your teen, these brain changes are not just challenges. They are opportunities for incredible growth, resilience, and transformation. To understand why the teenage brain leads to certain behaviors, it helps to look at the developmental tug-of-war happening inside your teen. On one side is the craving for independence, a natural and important part of growing up. On the other is the reality that they still need guidance while their brain's reasoning and problem-solving abilities catch up. This explains why teens often act before thinking. Their brains are built for exploration and risk-taking during this stage. This drive isn't inherently bad. In fact, it pushes them to try new activities, make friends, learn skills, and form their own identity. But it also means they may misjudge situations, underestimate consequences, or feel invincible in moments when caution would be wise. You might notice your teen making decisions based on emotion rather than reason. This emotional intensity is magnified by hormonal changes, peer influence, and a heightened sensitivity to rewards. Teens feel approval more strongly, embarrassment more painfully, and accomplishment more deeply than adults do. Their brains are wired to seek novelty and acceptance, and this can lead to choices that seem irrational from the outside. Understanding this helps you respond with calm instead of criticism. When your teen messes up, they're not trying to disappoint you, they're reacting to how their brain processes the moment. Your job is to help them reflect afterward, when the emotional wave has settled and they can think more clearly. Teenagers also experience stress differently. Their brains haven't yet mastered how to evaluate the size of a problem. Something minor may feel catastrophic, and your attempt to downplay it, "It's not a big deal," may make them feel misunderstood. Instead, acknowledging their feelings first, "I can see this feels big to you," gives their emotional brain the safety it needs to let the thinking brain come online. Another key part of understanding your teen's brain is recognizing the importance of sleep. Teens need more rest than adults, but their biological clocks shift, making them naturally prone to staying up late and waking up later. When teens are tired and many are they're more moody, impulsive, and easily overwhelmed. This isn't laziness, it's physiology. Once you begin to understand how your teen's brain works, their behavior becomes less puzzling and more understandable. Instead of reacting with frustration, you can lead with empathy. Instead of taking behaviors personally, you can see them as part of your teen's development. This shift in perspective doesn't erase challenges, but it does make them easier to navigate together. Now that you understand the developing structure of the teenage brain, it's easier to see why your role in their life matters so much. Even as your teen steps toward independence, your guidance provides the steady anchor they need while their brain wiring is still catching up. Your reactions shape their emotional learning. When you stay calm during a heated moment, you model how to handle stress. When you approach conflict with curiosity, "Help me understand what happened," instead of accusation, "What were you thinking?" you create an environment where your teen feels safe enough to be honest. These moments strengthen the pathways that help them learn self-control and thoughtful decision-making. The teenage brain is also especially responsive to the quality of your connection. A teen who feels secure, respected, and understood is more likely to make responsible decisions because they want to preserve the relationship. A teen who feels judged or misunderstood may withdraw or rebel, not because they want conflict, but because their brain is already overwhelmed and needs emotional safety. One of the most powerful things you can offer your teen is helping them make sense of their emotions. You can say things like, "It makes sense that you're upset. That was a lot to handle. It's okay to feel angry. Let's talk about what you can do with that feeling. I'm here. You don't have to go through this alone." These small gestures help your teen learn emotional awareness, which strengthens the neural pathways for self-regulation and empathy. Another essential part of supporting the teenage brain is encouraging reflection. When the heat of a situation has passed, gently guide your teen to think through what happened. What were you feeling at the time? What made that choice feel right in the moment? What might you do differently next time? The goal isn't to lecture them, it's to help them build the ability to evaluate their own decisions. This reflective practice supports the development of their prefrontal cortex, helping them grow into thoughtful adults. Finally, remember that your teen's brain is not stuck in chaos, it's growing toward maturity. The intensity you see today is shaping the resilience they will carry tomorrow. Their creativity, curiosity, passion, and energy are part of the same neurological transformation that sometimes makes them unpredictable or emotional. With your guidance, these qualities become strengths. Your teenager doesn't just need rules. They need understanding. They need your patience, your empathy, and your consistent belief in their potential. And the more you understand what's happening in their brain, the more confidently you can walk with them through this extraordinary stage of becoming.